Hello again, everybody. Welcome once more to Powerline Weekly Video Ministry. This is Richard Ike, and we're on episode number 132. And the title of today's message is The Female Champions of the Bible. The Female Champions of the Bible. I have not yet ended the series on the Book of Revelation, unveiling end-time mysteries, but the Lord ministered to me to suspend that for now and focus on what I believe now is going to be a new series, and then I'll come back to that. And it had to do with God's end times movement and His use of women in the end times. And since God does things based on His previous patterns, so the movement that He's going to be using women for is going to be based on the women we see in the Bible, the characters that we've seen in the Bible. Yes, he does. That's how he operates. That's why we go back and look at scripture to validate if it's God doing anything, because he works with patterns. So the women in the Bible that we see in the Bible, the new move that he's bringing with women, using women in ministry and things of that matter, even in politics, is going to be deploying the blueprint based on the women that he had already used in the Bible. The end time, what God is going to be doing, the end time is going to be based on what He's done before. That's how He operates. And this is a fulfillment of a scripture, a prophecy from Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. And it says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?" This is where the prophecy starts. "For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And when I went to go look up the definition of compass, one of the meaning was lead. The reason why the Lord had to settle this matter with me was because when I started seeing the women's movement, I was raised mostly by women, very much by women. I had a lot of females in my family, my aunties, my mom, my aunties, my cousins, a lot of females around. My brother had to play the father role, but he wasn't always around. So I always sympathize with things that pertain to women. There are different causes and all, so I sympathize with it. However, as I see all this movement, when the Me Too movement suddenly popped up, I was kind of like against it because I was thinking it was the devil behind it. Until the Lord revealed to me that no, He's the originator. Satan is only an imitator. He creates, Satan corrupts. The devil corrupts. He doesn't create anything, he corrupts. Even the entire movement, like last message I mentioned that in Revelation 17, Mystery Babylon was a woman right on the male beast. That was allegorical of women, the power women going to have in the end times. However, it did not originate from the devil. It did not originate. That was 17. In chapter 12, we see it originated with God. John saw a woman clothed with the sun. All that. So let me read it. Let me read Revelation chapter 12. The vision that John saw. Okay. Revelation chapter 12. "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars." This is where God established the order. "And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And he still drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them down to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man child." So now we see the order God established in the first book of the Bible Genesis, where he made man first, and then took woman out of man. In the last book of the Bible, Revelation, he reverses the order. It's the woman first, and now the man coming out of the woman. That's what God establishes this order in Revelation chapter 12. So in Revelation chapter 17, where the woman ran the beast, no, just copying the order. And Revelation chapter 17, and there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornications, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman first sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, second. So the woman was first, and the scarlet-colored beast, which was male, second. That was the beast from Revelation 13. So he said, I'm just copying the order in chapter 12. So God established, reversed the order he had established in chapter Genesis, in the first book of the Bible, Genesis. Now, in the last book of the Bible, he reversed that order. So that was just copying. It now originated with him. So that's why it was God that originated this move where women are starting to rise. And I jumped on the bandwagon. I couldn't oppose it any longer. Because I was thinking that it was the devil behind, because I was seeing where the devil was using his own tactics. So I was against it. And when I said, no, he said to me, no, the devil just imitates. He or Lord originates. The devil imitates. He creates. The devil corrupts. So I was seeing the corrupt aspect. I was like, I'm still against the corrupt aspect. But now that I see that there's a God moving, because he had said to me that the leadership of the man in the kingdom of the Gentiles has failed. So it's giving victory to women. Now it's bringing up women, calling women into ministry. No, I think women are coming to the forefront. It's him leading. So I stopped opposing it. I just find which one where the devil is trying to corrupt or trying to imitate, and then I'll speak out on that. So that's the prophecy concerning the coming of the woman preacher. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 22. For the Lord shall do a new thing on the earth. A woman shall compass a man. That one definition was to be another definition to surround. Basically, a pastoral position, pastoral definition. Anyway, before I proceed with the message, I have an addendum to make. 2 addendums, very important. It's going to take a good chunk of this message. Ever since the Lord had given that revelation that Christians belong in politics. So the founding fathers of America, they understood this thing. They are both their kingly and their priestly position. That's why they were both strong Christians and powerful politicians. Both, because they understood, they had greater understanding than we do now about the facts. That's why they built America, and America had a very solid foundation, because those were strong men. The world doesn't produce men like that any longer, because the conditions and circumstances that shape and forge their character doesn't exist. So we don't see men like that. The closest thing, as far as I'm concerned, President Trump. Look at all the opposition that has come against him. The man is still standing strong. Because if they had bothered to read his books, they would have found that the man was a seasoned fighter. He has fought battles that none of them could handle by himself. Fought all kind of battles. So now they're coming to fight. No, he's spent his life and career fighting battles. So to him, they are children. I so respect President Trump. I so respect him. I was a fan before his presidency. After his 8 years, because he's going to win the next one. No questions. No doubt about it. After his 8 years, I'll still be his fan. So it has to do with politics. The missing kingly position of the Christians, the body of Christ. I noticed something. It became the first notice when they were making a lot of noise about the LGBT and the gay movement, the gay rights and all that stuff. The laws and the gays and all that stuff. The whole bakery thing and all that stuff. And it was as if half of America was gay. And then I found out from certain states it was just like 2% of the population. I was shocked. Like, how's all this noise being made about 2% of the population? Even laws and all that stuff, all this, no, the whole thing. What's 2% of the population? How's this happening? A friend of mine, in one of my old schoolmates back in Nigeria, in our communication, he also thought half of America's population was gay. I didn't blame him. I said, yeah, I'm here. I thought half the population was gay because of all the noise that was being made. I said, no, just 2%. But how is it that they all know? It's meant to look like they're so big. How's this thing working? When we start hearing about the whole Muslim thing, noise about Sharia law, Islam, and all that stuff, I'm thinking, okay, they have a good size, of the population. That's when they can start making noise about, the laws. I want to go look up the statistics. 1.1%. What? Again, another scenario like that. I didn't even mention the transgender part. That is less than 1%. Noise being made up there. They get flagged and restroom and all that stuff. Like, how come these super minorities are getting these privileges? How is this thing working? And then the scales fell off my eyes. I saw, okay, it was politics. The house of power. It's like a projector. Projector is a small movie projector, a small lens, but it projects a big screen. So politics is like that projector. You hear the sound of the projector, projecting a big image. I'm like, 1.1% of the population, the Muslim population, 1.1%. And now hearing talks about Sharia law here in America, foreign law in America, on American soil, all that stuff. I said, with all the noise they make, there's no population to back it up. I said, so politics is the projector. I said, okay, I now see. So this is how it's working. No wonder the Lord Jesus said, the children of this world and their generation wiser than the children of light. Children of light, they lack wisdom. However, there was a wicked American king named Lyndon Johnson. He made some law. I remember the fine details that restricted clergy from taking part in politics, or else they lose their tax exempt status. They use financial means to strangle the body of Christ, and so the clergy stopped participating in politics. And they didn't go and pray to God to reverse the situation even after the man was gone, for God to change it. They just believe, Christians should be in politics. They just accepted and adjusted to being to the yoke that this wicked king, Lyndon Johnson, I believe it was him that made that law, placed on the church. And show me how they adjusted and they began to prosper within their limitations. The private jets and Rolls Royce, Bentleys, and mansions, and all this stuff, and it isolated them even more. Before, the church had influence on the affairs of the nation, affairs of the world. The church had influence. The church had great influence. So now the Lord had raised up his own king, Donald Trump, and he had removed that yoke from that old wicked king, Lyndon Johnson. The church has been so used to being outside of the political arena. I don't see the movement. No rush. Let's go and influence politics. You might think, they don't belong in politics. I've seen politics in the church, and I've seen politics in the world. They're the same thing. The church folks, the church politics is the same thing as Washington politics. They argue over, just like they argue over denomination, over even within the denomination, over positions, over budgets, and a whole bunch of other things. The same kind of argument they have in politics. No difference. I'm in tune with both sides, both worlds. If they just transfer over, they will fit like hands and glove. But the difference is that since Christianity is the majority, if tiny little insignificant minority groups can go and use politics and project themselves, make themselves look so large that they're even making laws concerning them, Christianity, which is the official giant of the land, if Christianity should step on Washington overnight, they'll flip Washington over like a ball. Like turning a ball like that, boom, overnight. Christianity wake up to the reality of its position. That is hard as the sleeping giant. Because it's Christians that live in America. The Muslims, one day I saw a program. A moderate Muslim was saying that if the Christians don't know that they are warning the Christians about the encroachment of radical Islam. The radical Islam are invading politics and the government and all that stuff. They are wanting that they said that the Muslims, they would rather live in a Christian country than in all these radical Muslim countries that they fled from. This place with this Muslim country with restrictive rules. They would rather live in a. These are Muslims. They say they would rather live in a Christian nation, having the rights and the freedoms. But they say that they are warning the Christians that if the Christians don't wake up, that they cannot help them. And what did he mean by that? Because there was a complaint that how come the moderate Muslims are not complaining about the radicals. People don't understand. Islam is not like Christianity. Islam is quite introverted. Christianity is extroverted. But Islam is an introverted religion. So now that the moderates are speaking up and the Christians are not listening, not waking up, said we can't help them, which means they go back to being silent. But they are warning to all these folks invading politics, bringing radical Islam, that they don't mean well. They're giving out the warning of what they turn America into. But say if they judge the Christians, do not wake up. I said, so even the Muslims know that the Christians are asleep. So they're giving a warning. If they don't wake up, you can't help them. We can't help you. Even they know that Christians are asleep. But they said they would rather live in a Christian nation. Muslims said they would rather live in a Christian nation. But if that giant that is the American church wake up, it will go something like this. The whole earth, the whole ground will shake, the whole spiritual ground will shake. The giant rises up, his head reaching the heavens, stretches out, and everybody hear the sounds. He's just waking up and yawning, I will not sleep. But the noise of the yawn, like, the sound is terrible. Make it stop. Everybody run. And that giant started to march to Washington, causing earthquake. The ground be shaking. Boom, boom, boom. And the news helicopters are filming it. We see the giant. It seems to be heading east. The satellite communication tells us that it's projected to be going to the direction of Washington. By the time I was walking to Washington, boom, boom, the whole ground is shaking. Is it an earthquake? And someone looks up, look over there, it's a giant, he's heading this way. And someone screams, it's the American church. I don't believe it. Everybody, run for your lives. By the time the church, boom, arrives in Washington, boom, place is evacuated. Everybody's fleeing like those disaster movies where everybody's running away, traffic everywhere, people are running on foot. Because the church had woken up, carrying the cross. And they plant the cross in Washington and putting you where you've been uprooted. Boom! And then it sets off a blast wave. Overturning cars, blowing off rooftop. You can tell I've watched a lot of movies. Anyway. Now, but what happened in the meantime? During that time, that's when they discovered that in the isolation of the church world, the priests began to prosper, and the prosperity message, all that stuff came up, and the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. As the prosperity was starting to manifest, the corruption of the priesthood also manifested. Mammon worship became standard. Prosperity message goes right along with mammon worship. Because there are preachers that worship money and they don't hide it. Black American preachers, they don't hide it, they don't sugarcoat it. They even preach messages on their money. I mean, so shamelessly. The world is kind of coy about these things. They don't make too much noise about it. I see Black American preachers, this one, they put money from the dance on top of money. I say, this one is just pure and outright open mammon worship, mammon ministries. And Lord Jesus said, you cannot serve both God and money. So they make it clear that money is their God. This is corruption. It's mammon corruption. That's what has created preachers like the minister I worked in was standing this cult of God in Christ where that presiding idiot, that bishop stupid, Charles E. Blake is pastor. A demon of a man. Responsible. This man, he orchestrated because they were trying that he was targeting me. Why? You wonder why he was targeting me? I mentioned many times. He thought I was after his wife. His wife was obviously after me. I didn't work for her. My greatest thing that I was good at what I did. That's the only reason why his wife would have wanted me to do anything for her, because I was good, very good at what I did. That's really my main crime. If I wasn't good at what I did, they should not have been interested in me. That was it. You see a man who is skilled at his work. He will serve before kings. He will not serve before ordinary men. So because I was skilled at my work, the king's wife summoned me. Yeah, he calls himself a king. He said one time to one of the elders when another big name preacher was coming, that they should tell that king that he's coming to a king. As so he sees himself as king, or not no longer a preacher, servant of God. Okay. So at one particular time, when I started seeing, I was the one who printed the documents. So at one time, they told me to split their pictures, him and his wife. Don't put them together again. I went up to my boss. I said, "What is the matter? Why you keep telling me to split their pictures? Is there something going on, in the marriage?" And she just looked at me smiling. I asked her 3 times. She didn't move, just looked at me smiling. By the third time, I realized, because she's looking at the problem between them. That's why she wasn't saying it. Just look at me, just look at me smile. I said, "Is there something going on? Why do you keep telling me to split their pictures? Is there something happening?" Just look at me smiling. The third time, I realized, she's trying to give me a message that I'm the one splitting them. I just quietly went out and said, what have I got to do with, like Joseph, just minding his business. Here come trouble. Potiphar's wife. It all came to a head when I was called to the pastor's wife's office. As soon as I opened the door, I heard an argument. There were like 5 people there. I heard an argument. As soon as I opened the door, one thing, she saw me. She just ran to me. "Oh, Richard, the man after my own heart, hugged me and gave me a kiss on the cheek." And the man just just you can see the sadness or anger or whatever in his face. He walked into his office and into the restaurant or where they went to go cry. But I wanted to tell her, I said, "Why did you do this to me? You just made me that." Then this man now going to think I'm trying to take his wife, because there's something among Black Americans, they always want to take what belongs to someone else. So now I think I want to take his wife. When I left that place, I felt like I just become the most haunted man on earth, even before it started happening. It just felt like she put a big target on me, like, hey, what did I do? Just because I was good at computer graphic design, now I'm a worldwide target. That's what I felt like. Like the whole world is after me, like number one most wanted man on earth. So that's when he began all his, all his tactics, intimidation, all that stuff. Prior to that, before at the culmination, when he had my aunt through using their cartel, they had my aunt at the convalescent home killed. Cold blooded. These preachers, they have blood on their hands, murderous souls, killer priests. Bishop Blake, I know you're tapping into this phone. I've already tested you guys, and I set you guys over and tested you. That's how I knew this phone was being tapped. So you think you can outsmart a Nigerian? Don Blacks, then they can outsmart the Nigerian. Are you serious? I already did the test. I know that this one is being tapped. Bishop Blake, I have news. Let me tell you what I call you. You are an atomic super black bastard pulpit abomination. An atomic super black bastard pulpit abominated preacher. So let's continue. When my mother in Nigeria had cancer, I was trying to get her over here. I went to him for help to see if he can help. He had the power to do it. But I don't know what, maybe he was intimidated by my boldness and actually whatever. My impression of them is different from how people see them. I see them as preachers. Other people see them as whatever, Messiah, whatever. No. He refused to help until my mother passed away. And then when I was in the staff meeting, I was talking about how I was trying to overcome what I was going through and all that stuff. He felt so much sympathy. He called me to his office to have a meeting with me. Maybe it was because he was feeling guilty. I don't know. But then when I left the meeting, I talked to him with the same boldness, and either he was uncomfortable or intimidated or whatever. He changed his disposition. But after that point, when my mother had passed, he had a security guard followed me for about a month. One particular security guard, tall, big, light-skinned guy, follow me about at work because in case I try to retaliate, try to do something, I'm going anywhere. I'm like, no, this guy just followed me where I just reasoned as, oh, so this guy thinks I want to retaliate because it didn't help. My mother passed away. And for about a whole month. And nobody asked the question because everybody knew. I didn't complain. I said eventually they'll get tired. They'll say I'm not like their people because their people retaliate. So yeah, anyway, the guy, I arrived at work. The guy, anywhere I'm going to work, the guy before me, I said was my personal bodyguard, just a few feet away, just to keep an eye. I said, okay, I have the personal bodyguard. Eventually, that one faded away. But after the wife scenario, and then the intimidating tactics began. I'm thinking that it was the people doing it. I come to realize now that it was sending them to do it because the person who became my co-worker after my co-worker of 7 years ran away and left. Now I understand why he ran away. I didn't want to say anything. And they brought a new co-worker. I didn't consider that guy co-worker. It was just a spy. He even told me he was a spy. So I didn't consider it the last one as my co-worker. I just stayed with him a few months and then I quit. But he told me, Lord ministered to me, the devil has sent it to you. Then when he told me there was the office of the pastor that sent him, I said, oh, so the devil is in the office of the pastor. Because the Lord ministered to me, it's the devil that sent this guy to you. And then he telling me he was a spy sent. So he was sent by the office of the pastor to keep an eye. And the reason he was telling me because I didn't talk. So he knew I wasn't going to go and tell. But I enter my work in the office, and the guy will write something, oh, so he's keeping records on me. Eventually I said, I had to check out. For years since then, this man been secretly, and I know how they operate. How Black Americans of that caliber keep their people down. Anybody who is not worshiping their hands God, they will send their cartel, secret cartel to work from behind the scene. I used to hear them talking about these things, and I didn't really believe them or didn't really know how they did it. But they work from behind the scene to destroy lives, destroy relationships, destroy marriages, destroy your finances, all that stuff. No, be careful. I hear people who just died, or someone just killed themselves. How? What? Where? What happened? All that stuff. These are things that they were working from behind the scenes, orchestrated. Well, my aunt, who had been there for years, at the convalescent home, she suddenly told me that they put surveillance camera everywhere. They suddenly came, just put surveillance camera everywhere. And I had understood their strategies at that point. That they always survey their victims before, to find the witness before they strike, before they do anything, to find out how they can overcome the person. So she told me, I was taking her in a wheelchair. She showed me camera here, camera here, camera. I said, hey, her life is in danger. This is their strategy because they couldn't get to me now. They're aiming for her. I said, hey, I didn't know how they were going to go use what strategy they were going to use. They used their cover strategy. Sent message to the nutrition to remove salt from my food. I didn't know what I was going to do. My aunt was always complaining, there's no salt in my food, no salt. I'm thinking, what's the big deal? No, I bought her salt. Okay, here you go salt. The damage has already been done. Her body shut down, and then she had to go to emergency hospital, the hospital. That's where she finally succumbed and died. They called me. They told me, no, she's about to she's about to leave. She's about to depart. I didn't think it was going to happen. I went there. By the time that I got there, they told me she had passed. I saw her. Her eyes were still open. I said, I told her, excuse me, just give me privacy. I started to pray because I saw her eyes. She looked like somebody who was just staring. I would pray. I didn't want to accept that she was dead. I prayed for hours. But at some point, it started to hit me that she's gone. Because nobody could keep their eyes open that long without blinking. So soon after a while, it started to hit me. This is the handiwork of people that call themselves preachers. I see multitude, thousands, sitting under these demons in flesh. I was praying that God would do some miracle or something. I didn't want to accept that she was dead. But sooner or later, that started hitting me. She's gone. You can't keep your eyes that open that long and not blink. I finally had to close her eyes. That's what they do in the movies. People die, they close their eyes, they check the pulse, check everything, get pretty brown open. I closed her eyes, watching, hoping that her eyes will open. As I closed the eyelid, hoping that the eyelid would open back up. It didn't open. When my uncle came, I saw the man cry for the first time. I'd never seen a man cry in my entire life. His lips were quivering. Just I come down his eyes. I had to let my brother know. I saw Uncle Edmund cry for the first time. I didn't even think this man had teared up. I'd never seen him cry before. For the first time, I saw tears in his eyes. But that was his sister. This is the handiwork of these black American preachers. I don't know if they are white preachers of this satanic constituency, but this is normal for black American preachers of this caliber. These people are well-trained sons and daughters of Satan, the devil. They know how to masquerade and fake sincerity. That's what makes them so dangerous. I listen to them carefully. They know how to, not even to see their picture. Their deception so powerful that even when the Lord was trying to reveal to me, I didn't want to believe it. Lord showed me that for years he was trying to reveal to me this person, not who you think he is. No wonder when I come close to the man to talk to the man, a mask would appear. I couldn't share this thing with anybody because they would think I'm crazy. I wanted to connect with him, but the mask would appear on his face and I couldn't explain this stuff. So Lord was showing me this. He's not who you think he is. That's his handiwork. Bishop Child E. Blake. They use the mischief of children to commit their atrocities. It has consumed most of the message. I didn't think I was going to act like this one. I went to the police. Yeah, I went to the police. But then I found out that they have superiors they answer to. Because the policeman that took my report in the city and in their protocols, was man took my report in the city, and they never let me speak to that man again. Each time I called, they will never give me that man. I got to the point where I got angry. Was it the La Habra police station? I can't recall. I got angry with the female police officer at the time. That's why won't they give me to this? Why won't they give this man? He took my report. Why can't I speak to him? I was getting angry. I started yelling. You should respect law enforcement officer, but they refused to give me this man. He took my report. Why won't you let me speak to him? I realized, these are people of high level of influence. To print the documents, the paper, the brochures for this different service, they had law enforcement, military and fire, men appreciation service, and it's all the black people, black Americans in all those institutions. So these are his underlings, kind of like mafia boss with people under him. These are his underlings. I was studying carefully. They just look at me, just a good computer graphic designer. They didn't know the machinery of intelligence working behind the scene. I printed all their documents. I knew how the whole institution worked. I took documents and read and all that stuff. It's amazing what people will get to do when you just don't really show them anything. Just play dumb. Putting all the documents. Folks, they don't like to read. Crack brainers. Everything for them is emotion. All the documents. That's how I learned business. I was studying all the books. And the things I was printing, I was doing all that. Okay. That's how I learned business. And I've consumed this is not even the message. This is just the addendum. This consumed the whole message. But it's very important. I have to get this now. Because these are I wanted to get angry with God. Lord said, why would I get angry with him? That when he is the victim. Because he gets blamed for what these monsters do. He gets blamed for them. He gets blamed for all their activities. Or their action. It's him that takes the blame. Besides that, said to me that I don't have a right to be angry with my creator. I didn't think of it that way. So I want to get that you don't have a right to be angry with my creator. So yeah, he's the creator, he created everything. You came with nothing, you live with nothing. I don't have a right to be angry with my creator. However, he is the victim. So next time you want to get angry, remember, you don't have a right to be angry with your creator. You don't have a right. It's pride that makes you think that we can get angry with God. I'll get angry. What can you do to him? You can't do anything. We need him. He doesn't need us. We need him. So you don't, always said to me, you don't have a right to ask. I'm treating with respect. You don't have the right to be angry with your creator. What would I do? Throw my face in the air. Satan learned that lesson. Try to get angry with God. He got cast out of heaven. And he's been wreaking havoc ever since with God's creation. You don't have a right to be angry with your creator. Anyway. Now, that's not part of the addendum, but it has consumed the whole message. The situation. I saw a video on Kanye West starting his own church, everything just music, some strange thing. And I've seen so many of these things where celebrities, they want to come to God and later on they depart. Either they depart from God or do something else, whatever. But I said that they must have tasted the venom, especially I don't know about the white celebrities. I see some of them, but it's the venom of the church that's driving them away. I remember R. Kelly when he turned his life to God. He did the song "I Believe I Can Fly." What happened to him now? R. Kelly is not the same R. Kelly. I did that song, "I Believe I Can Fly." I remember Kanye West when he did the song "Jesus Walks." They are really seeking God. They come to church. They encounter religion. They encounter the self-righteous Pharisees, all that stuff. They encounter the venom of the serpents, scorpions, and dragons of the church and drive them away. They are looking for God, encounter serpents. It turns them away. So I believe that might have had something to do with Kanye West, whatever he's doing now. Because I remember, I said, when did that song Jesus Walks? He did boldly. He said, the radio didn't want to play and all this stuff. He was looking for Jesus. He came to church. What did he find? The religion must have turned him off. Anyway, with what the time that I've got left, I may touch on the actual message because I only have a little bit of time left, and this camera will shut off. The first champion, female champion I'm going to deal with is Sarah, the wife of Abraham. I would have given the title of the first champion to Eve, since she was the first woman mentioned in the Bible, but she's the reason why all of this exists, because of her mistake. And God gave us only Genesis chapter 1 and 2, it fit on one page, front and back. Eve messed up. Now this is what it has taken to reverse the mess of a woman. But that's actually demonstrating the power of women. This is what it has taken to reverse what one woman did. This whole book, all our journey, all the havoc that we've been dealing with, all that been as a result of what one woman did. So that shows you the power of women. It's a quiet kind of power. I know the kind of power women have because I grew up with women, with strong women. My mother was a strong woman. My aunt who died, who this preacher, Bishop Blake, killed and is walking around free, blood on his hand. How many other people has he killed in such ways? When my mother, he refused to help my mother died. And now he killed my aunt who was like my second mother. So I feel like my two mothers have passed away on account of this one man. And he hasn't stopped thinking, oh, he must win. That's their mentality. I found out that's what drives them. They must win. I said, okay, so this one's belong to Satan. That's how Satan thinks. He has to win. That's Satan's formula. That's why Satan always copies strategies. He doesn't want to come up with anything new because he will take a chance of losing. So you look at strategies, see the one that succeeds, and then you go and copy it, and it teaches the children to do the same thing. Copycats. Jannes and Jambres, the magicians of Pharaoh. So they were copying Moses. They didn't do any miracle, any new miracle. Whatever Moses did, they went and replicated. That's how their father, the devil, operates. Anyway, so Sarah is the first champion. Just as Abraham was the father of the faith, Sarah will be the mother of the faith, because Abraham did not act alone. Without Sarah, there will be no Abraham. The whole thing was about Abraham. I get credit, but Sarah deserves her due credit, because if she was not there, Abraham would not have been established. I had to inquire of God why he had to let Abraham go through this drama, having an old age and all that stuff. And God said to me that a house, there's something that he had mentioned to me before, but he reinforced it in there. A house is only as strong as its foundation. In order to build a strong house, you must have a strong foundation. So since he was going to be the foundation of the faith, he had to be strong. His faith had to be strong, faith had to be demonstrated with might and power. So that's why his story was like, that's why the story was the way it was, where he had having children in old age. He had faith for a long time to have children, because God wanted to establish a strong foundation. Indeed, a strong foundation. He is. Even with the flaw, the human flaw, which turned out to be Ishmael. He was still human. With all his super faith, he was still human. Now, oh man, I'm almost completely out of time. Now, I have to address why Abraham was the father of the faith, what it means for him to be the father of the faith. I'm out of time. I have to make it part 2 because I know the camera is about to shut off. It's been cutting down my time. So let me say, I will reserve it for part two. I will say my closing prayer, and then part two, I'll drop the bombshell. Okay. Oh, great God, Almighty King Jehovah, I thank you for the word that you brought forth. Even though it wasn't then done, I still believe that you passed on your message through this addendum. Let it hit the right ear and let it be planted as seed in the heart and let it bring forth fruit, oh Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus. I thank you. I bless you. I praise your holy name. As the heavens agree, I say amen. I love you. God just loves you. I'll see you next week.